If this message has found you today, let me say something to you with complete certainty. It wasn't an algorithm and it wasn't a random coincidence. It was the universe answering a quiet question your soul has been carrying for a while now. Somewhere deep inside you, in that part of your heart where doubt first started creeping in, there was something you needed to hear, and you needed to hear it right now before your uncertainty has the chance to turn into giving up. This message is reaching you because it's time. I know you've been quiet about it. I know you've been trying to act as though everything is already over, trying to convince yourself that you've moved on and closed that chapter. But deep down, there's a question that keeps circling back no matter how hard you try to silence it. A question that unsettles your peace no matter how firmly you push it away. This question about where this connection is really headed is something only a much bigger plan can answer. And that answer is arriving now, with a clarity you can no longer brush aside. Stop telling yourself that you're exaggerating what you feel. You are not imagining this intensity. You are not pouring your heart into something meaningless. And you are not loving alone. What exists between you and this person is real. It didn't come from your imagination. It came from somewhere much deeper, from the soul itself. It isn't a passing craving. It's a meaning that runs deep. And the most important thing you need to hear today is simple: don't give up. You are standing right at the edge of something that has been quietly forming for both of you for a long time. You have no idea how much is happening behind the scenes, working in your favor, even when you can't see a trace of it. That feeling that something is about to shift isn't wishful thinking. The way this story refuses to let go of your heart, the way their name keeps surfacing in your mind uninvited, the way you keep being pulled back to them again and again, no matter how many times you try to walk away, that isn't obsession, and it isn't unhealthy attachment either. It's a signal, one that's tied to a purpose that distance can't erase, silence can't erase, and time can't erase. Some feelings simply don't disappear. There are moments when they stop mid-task, completely distracted, because something around them suddenly reminded them of you. But let's get concrete. How can you really know this connection is still active right now? If this person truly feels your absence as deeply as we're saying, how does that show up in your world, your emotions, your body? The first genuine sign is what we might call emotional telepathy. This person isn't distant because they don't care. They're distant because the depth of what they feel actually frightens them. Some souls love so intensely that they freeze or pull back just to catch their breath. So while you sit there wondering why everything feels stuck, the universe is quietly telling you nothing has actually stopped. If anything, this person's emotions are stirring even more intensely than before, just buried somewhere you can't see. But in those hidden spaces, destiny is already hard at work. This inner movement happening within them affects your own energy directly, and it often shows up disguised as things you might mistake for ordinary stress, tiredness, or random shifts in mood. When this person thinks of you with strong emotion, that energy travels along the spiritual thread that connects your two souls, and it reaches you. Sometimes it arrives as a sudden wave of sadness or a heavy weight sitting on your chest with no clear reason behind it. That heaviness isn't yours. It's their longing, the weight of their regret and desire echoing through your shared emotional field. You assume the feeling belongs to you, but really it's theirs, brushing up against your energy. Another common sign is a sudden out-of-nowhere memory. An image of them appears in your mind, or something they said long ago comes back with a clarity so sharp it stops you in your tracks. That's the universe confirming what your intuition has been trying to tell you. The connection is still alive. You remain in their heart far more than you probably give yourself credit for. You might even notice physical sensations, a sudden warmth in your face, chest, or hands, right when they're thinking of you with affection. That warmth is the energy of their love reaching you. And when fear rises in them and they pull back emotionally, you might feel a brief chill instead, or a sinking feeling as though something was quietly tugged out of your own energy. That's the ripple effect of the inner conflict they're wrestling with. Another distinct sign is the presence of music. You might hear a song that carries memories you shared, or a new melody that reminds you of them in a way you can't put your finger on. This isn't random either. The universe often uses sound as a bridge, a signal that this connection is still active and that this person is thinking of you with real intensity. There are nights when they think of you right before sleep, and mornings when a memory of you tightens their chest the moment they wake up. Even when they hide behind silence, pretending to be fine, the universe still sees the vulnerability they can't put into words. So if your intuition has felt stronger than ever lately, even on the days you tried hardest to let go, pay attention to that feeling. It isn't dependency and it isn't obsession. It's clarity. The universe is showing you, through these subtle signs, that this love is still alive, that invisible threads still connect your hearts, and that thoughts can travel between two people without a word spoken. The love this person carries for you isn't something they can simply switch off. It's a love actively fighting its own fears, trying to resist even though it can't quite manage it. Your presence has left such a deep mark on their soul that they can barely admit it to themselves. And this is exactly why you cannot give up now. By this point, we've established that what you're feeling isn't some illusion, but a truth that's confirmed by the energy constantly flowing back and forth between the two of you. Still, a question remains. Why is this bond so strong that neither distance nor time seems able to erase it? The answer lies in the idea of a plan set by destiny itself, what many people call a soul agreement. You have to understand that this connection wasn't an accident. It was never just a casual meeting or a short-lived spark that fades the moment things get complicated. This bond is the result of something much bigger, a spiritual agreement made long before either of you ever entered this physical world. It's a pact built around growth, awakening, and mutual transformation. When two souls are bound by destiny, the energy between them doesn't allow for a final separation until the purpose of that connection has been fulfilled. That's exactly why both of you have tried to walk away and failed every time, why forgetting feels impossible. That's the undeniable proof this is a genuine soul connection. What's purely human can break under pressure. What's destined endures through everything. The reason their name stays lodged inside you, even when you try to push it away, is because your soul is honoring a spiritual promise made long ago, like an energetic anchor keeping you aligned with the truth of your connection. It's destiny quietly whispering, "Stay steady, this process belongs to me, and I'm coordinating the timing." There's something important to understand about destiny's plan. Within it, there's no real confusion, only pauses necessary for growth. The universe never places you into heartbreak without a deeper meaning behind it. If there's silence right now, it isn't an ending, it's a phase of reorganizing behind the scenes. Destiny is working on this person so they can return stronger and genuinely ready. That's why the bond doesn't break under pressure. It stretches, it softens, it rests, but it never truly disappears. Its core stays untouched, guaranteeing you'll come back together when the timing is right. What feels like a painfully heavy delay is really the time this person needs to heal their wounds and approach this soul agreement with maturity. The silence confusing you isn't a lack of love. It's the opposite. On a spiritual level, they're completely overwhelmed by what they feel. To understand why they've pulled back, look closely at what's happening inside them. This person is facing emotions more intense than anything they've dealt with before. You, with your sensitivity, can understand the depth of this bond clearly. They aren't there yet. The intensity of this love and the realization that you might be the person they've been searching for has created a real emotional shock inside them. Their silence isn't rejection. It's fear of vulnerability. Like a wounded animal hiding to protect itself, they retreat inward to shield themselves from something that feels too powerful to hold. They believe stepping back will calm their emotions and give them a sense of control. But this behavior comes from confusion, not any absence of love. Silence here is simply the voice of their fear. This fear exists precisely because what they feel for you is the most genuine, powerful emotion they've ever experienced. They aren't scared of you as a person. They're frightened by the sheer strength of their own feelings, worried that if they give themselves fully, the pain of eventually losing you would be unbearable. So they pull back before the connection can grow even deeper. Inside, they're fighting their own nature. Their mind, shaped by old wounds, keeps warning them to keep their distance and not trust this kind of softness. But their soul keeps quietly whispering your name anyway. Silence becomes the battlefield where this inner war plays out. And yet, even within that quiet, something powerful is taking shape, an invisible force building that will eventually push them to face everything they've been avoiding. Destiny keeps sending them situations and emotional triggers that remind them of exactly what they set aside. The absence of your energy feels to them like a burning emptiness that no distraction and no other person can ever fill. Every attempt they make to fill that void only shows them more clearly each time just how strong this connection has always been. So whenever you're tempted to believe that their silence means they don't care, pause before you accept that thought. Silence is not apathy. It's evidence of an internal struggle, the map of a heart being pushed to confront old wounds before it can move toward you in a healthier way. Their silence and distance don't come from a lack of love. They come from emotional armor built up over years of pain and fear, and right now the universe is slowly, patiently breaking that armor apart. That shield is the biggest barrier standing between them and moving forward, and yet the love that you embody, pure, strong, unconditional, reflects back to them a light they haven't seen in themselves in a very long time. For a soul that's been hurt before, seeing itself that clearly can honestly feel terrifying. Their ego reacts on instinct, protecting them from a pain that no longer exists in reality but still lives on in their memory. The true root of their fear isn't the future, it's the past. The fear this connection could end the same way earlier ones ended, in loss or betrayal. That's why the universe is guiding them through a deep inner transformation, something like an emotional dark night where they face their own shadows. This phase of silence is genuinely necessary. It forces them to sit with their own darkness, heal old wounds, and release what's been weighing them down. This experience isn't a curse. It's a cleansing process that strips away outdated beliefs and old defenses. When they finally return, it should be because they've become whole on their own, not because they need you. Their ego resists you, but their soul already recognizes the truth. The love coming from you is simply too strong, too pure, and too meaningful for them to keep living in denial. But this separation isn't only about their growth. While the universe heals their fears, it's healing yours too. You're learning how to love without losing yourself, how to stay grounded without depending entirely on their presence, how to trust with no visible signs. Destiny is shaping both of you at once, them into someone braver, you into someone steadier. And when reunion arrives, it has to come from balance, not lack. Doubt slows everything down. Certainty speeds it up. Every moment spent in fear or impatience signals that you're not ready to receive what's meant for you. But settling into trust makes your energy naturally magnetic. That's why it matters to speak your trust out loud. Words carry real creative power. When you affirm with full conviction that your soul trusts the timing of this destiny, something genuinely shifts in your inner energy, breaking the chains of uncertainty and opening the gates for real manifestation. From here forward, your role isn't to wait helplessly. It's to release, consciously and on purpose. The law of magnetic letting go teaches that real attraction comes from a place of peace. Those who chase tend to push things away. Those who trust draw everything closer. Forcing this connection through fear or constant worrying creates resistance that blocks the natural flow of energy between you. But when you let go with faith intact, you align with what's actually coming. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting love will find its way back to you freely, with maturity, at the right moment. And chasing doesn't only happen through actions, it also happens through your thoughts, your fixation, your expectation. Every time you obsess over checking their social media, wait restlessly for a message, or center your energy around what they are or aren't doing, you shift into a place of lack. The spiritual practice of detachment invites you to come back to your own center, your own growth, your own peace, your own life. When you start raising your vibration without depending on them for it, you naturally become magnetic. That energy sends a clear message: I am whole, I am complete, and whatever is meant for me will arrive without me having to force anything. This inner balance is exactly what the other soul feels reaching them during their own dark period. Your stability becomes a light that helps guide them back home. They don't come back out of guilt or obligation. They come back because your energy has become so clear that their soul is naturally drawn toward you again. This is the true heart of magnetic detachment, releasing in order to attract. To fully understand why the universe chose this path for you, you need to understand why this separation was necessary in the first place. If the love is this deep and meaningful, why allow such a painful distance? Because separation like this was never a punishment. It's preparation, activation, destiny rearranging things so the connection can reach its highest form. The connection between you was so powerful that without healing, it could easily have collapsed under the weight of old wounds. The first hidden purpose of this separation is the maturing of the bond itself. When your paths first crossed, both of you were reacting from old pain and a deep need to feel secure and seen. The universe knew this dynamic would cloud the purity of what you shared, so it created distance, not to break you apart, but to help you both finally see clearly. This phase of silence became a spiritual cocoon. You learned to love yourself without depending on their attention, while they were pushed to face their fears without leaning on your closeness. The second purpose behind this pause is transformation. Destiny doesn't want you repeating the same mistakes. It wants this connection to come back reshaped, more conscious, more stable, and more emotionally grounded. Through the absence, both of you finally come to understand the true meaning and value of what exists between you. Their soul realizes that you can't simply be replaced, that no new connection will ever carry this same depth, because no one else carries the same soul contract with them that you do. That's why the universe keeps sending them little reminders, moments that hit their heart out of nowhere, flashes of memory, a longing that refuses to fade. These moments remind them that they stepped away from their true path. This pause is a gesture of deep protection from the universe itself, quietly whispering, I will guard this connection until you're both ready. I will keep you apart only long enough for you to heal and come back whole. The sadness you're feeling now is only temporary, but the clarity you gain from living through it will stay with you for life. The love that eventually returns won't look the same as before. It will grow out of understanding, not need. And now that magnetic detachment has started doing its work, and the dark night of their soul has reached its most intense point, the moment begins where your faith slowly starts turning into physical reality. Now it's time to pay attention to the signs that the return is getting closer. The first and strongest sign is the rise of real inner telepathy between you two, no longer random feelings, but clear, powerful waves of emotion that show up exactly when you least expect them. Warmth in your chest, a sudden calm, a closeness you can't explain logically. These feelings aren't yours, they're theirs. Their heart is slowly starting to stop resisting and accept what it actually feels, and once they let their feelings flow again, their energy reaches you almost instantly. This passage says that distance does not always mean the end of a connection. It suggests that deep bonds can remain emotionally meaningful despite silence or separation, and encourages trusting yourself, finding inner peace, and believing that your worth is not defined by someone else's actions. Pay close attention to timing here. If you start waking up at the exact same time every single night, that might be the moment their heart is most active, or the moment a memory of you hits them so hard it steals their sleep away entirely. Another strong sign to watch for is the repetition of certain numbers. The universe often speaks through patterns and synchronicity. If you keep noticing repeating numbers again and again, like 111 for alignment, 22 for balance and partnership, or 77 for spiritual reward, that isn't just coincidence. This is the universe's way of whispering to you that divine timing is speeding up, that the path ahead is clearing. These signs are proof that all the invisible work happening behind the scenes is finally starting to become visible. A third sign is the collapse of their fear alongside a rising sense of longing. They reach a point where the pain of being away from you becomes stronger than their fear of getting close again. This is the point where running away simply stops working. The emptiness created by your letting go becomes unbearable on their end. Distraction stops doing its job. The walls they built start crumbling. Restlessness builds, nights feel lonelier, and suddenly they realize life without you is harder to carry than the risk of loving you again. This is usually when the silence finally breaks. Then comes the fourth phase, sudden clarity. When they come back, it won't be wrapped in confusion or excuses. You'll feel it in the way they speak, in the softness in their eyes, in the entirely different quality of their presence. Clarity, certainty, matching effort. This time the connection won't be halfway. It will be fully intentional. The universe didn't allow this separation just so you could repeat the same old cycle. It allowed it so you could begin an entirely new one, more conscious and more healed than before. This reunion isn't just something that's merely possible. It's something certain, because at this point it no longer depends on anything you personally do. It depends on the completion of their own inner healing process. Pay attention to the signs as they show up. They confirm that your intuition was pointing you in the right direction the whole time. What you feel isn't imagination, it's truth. The silence wasn't rejection. It was healing taking place. The waiting wasn't punishment, it was protection the entire time. You were being guided step by step, out of confusion and into clarity. Now your job is simply to protect your peace and keep your energy elevated. Don't pause your life while you wait. Don't shrink your own light. Live fully, grow, create, enjoy your days, and become even more of who you truly are. When they finally return, let them see you standing strong, calm, and sure of yourself. Not someone who's been waiting helplessly, but someone fully ready to give and receive love in a healthy way. Destiny has already made its promise. What the universe has joined together cannot be broken apart. There may be distance, there may be silence, but the invisible thread connecting two souls never truly snaps. Eventually, they will find their way back to you, not because you chased, but because destiny carries its own gravity that pulls things back into alignment. The emptiness they carry inside constantly pulls them back toward the one place they always felt safe and truly seen. And that place is you. When they return, it won't be the same love as before. It will be a love that's grown, a love that survived silence, distance, and fear, and came out stronger on the other side. Receive them with the strength you built during this period. Don't let doubt undo what destiny has been quietly completing. Don't give up now, not when you're standing this close to the turning point. Trust what you cannot yet see. Trust the small messages you keep receiving. Trust the timing the universe has chosen. Trust that they love you, even if they're still working up the courage to say it. Your love is real. Your path is true. And the manifestation you've been hoping for is already unfolding, quietly, exactly as it should. Say it once more with calm certainty. My soul trusts the manifestation of this destiny, because what is truly meant for me already carries my name. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Feel that calm settle back into your heart. What's coming toward you now is movement, clarity, and fulfillment. The universe never gets its timing wrong, and it never lets two souls who were truly meant for each other drift apart forever.